Hello everybody, Mobius1 here, bringing you my reaction to Star Wars The Mandalorian Episode 2. This episode is titled The Child. We know what that's referencing from the end of the first episode. I loved the first episode. I thought it was really awesome. Looked so good. I hope that they keep up with the quality for the rest of the season. I know that this is coming a little bit late. This episode was actually released last Friday. It's now Monday night. I was out of town over the weekend, didn't get a chance to record it, so we're going to watch it now. Finally, maybe I'll play some Jedi Fallen Order a little bit later. Can't wait to start that series, but for now we're focusing on The Mandalorian. It took me about 3 different edits to get one to stick on YouTube of the last episode due to copyright claims and everything, so like I said, this is the first reaction series that I'm doing, so I'm still learning a little bit about what I can and can't get away with as far as showing clips from the show. I think I've pretty much got my finger on it now, so hopefully I won't be spamming any of my subscribers with upload notifications for this episode or any future episodes, but no promises. It is Disney, so we'll see what we can get away with. Anyway, just like before, we're doing a short reaction / review on YouTube, but I am going to have over on my Patreon my full reaction, which won't have any scenes from the episode, but you'll be able to queue up your own version of the show in a browser window next to mine and watch it side by side along with me and hear my thoughts for the entire episode. Alright, so link to my Patreon's down in the video description. It's only $1 a month if you want to watch it along with me. But for now, this is The Mandalorian, Episode 2, The Child, starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Well, previously on, nice.
There is one job.
You are a guild member.
I have a suggestion. We split the reward.
This is acceptable.
Alright, so I have a theory for this IG unit that I thought of after the last episode. I'll talk about it at the end of the video. Oh, this is going to be the scene with the Trandos, isn't it? Yes, 100%. This is the scene where the Trandos jump him from the trailer. The thing is damn cute. How does he have gray hair already, though? Oh, here we go. Oh. Yeah, you saw it. Unholster that blaster. There it is. Ooh. What was that? Look at the lance. Zap. Disintegrated. No disintegrations. Ah. So, okay, so he's gonna be... Oh, that's cool. So he's gonna be fighting other bounty hunters for him, just like... It's just like Boba Fett had to fight off IG-88 and other bounty hunters for Han Solo. Ooh, that looks painful. Is it going to heal him? We haven't seen him actually use the Force yet. He might not be able to. No, he's totally able to. He's going to try and heal him. Aww. Dude. Look at him. Who thought this was a good idea? It seems... Oh, it's so weird that they would actually do this. He has like a chest plate over his chest plate? Oh, that's just the front of it. Oh, so it is like power armor. So he walked all the way back? Didn't he need a blurg to strip in his ship? Dude! Oh, he doesn't have that many rounds. He's just fucking shooting off. That's hilarious. Oh, this ain't gonna end well. But what's the Baby Yoda doing? Dude, this is hilarious. Ooh. Rip Jawa. Oh, crap. Oof. Well, I mean, that they set that up really well. Jawas use ion weapons because they usually disable droids with them, which wouldn't make sense if we hadn't just seen him working on his armor and the fact that it's power armor. That was set up really cleverly, actually. Thank God nothing happened to Baby Yoda that whole time. Like, we don't know enough about how this thing follows him. Oh, they took his whole armory. This is not good. Is he gonna hunt down the Jawas now? Baby Yoda. Let's see, what are his options? I don't know if there are any towns around. He might go back to the Ugnaught dude. Or he might just hunt down the Jawas. What about IG-11? IG-11 had to have had a ship. Oh yeah, he's going back to the Ugnaught dude.
This is what was causing all the fuss?
I think it's a child.
It is better to deliver it alive then.
They're protected by the crawling fortress. There's no way to recover the parts.
The crawling fortress?
Trey.
With Jawas? Are you out of your mind? Hey, spit that out.
What? You just ate a whole frog. Houdini!
You need to drop your rifle.
They really are like the OG minions.
Weapons are part of my religion.
Then you are not getting your parts back.
Fine.
So what is he gonna... The only thing I can see him trading is his armor. We know he gets silver armor later. So maybe he trades his chest plate? That's why they showed him working on it earlier? He's not trading Baby Yoda. We already know that.
You understand that?
Wookie! Oh. Roast Jawa.
Get away from it!
Protective, are we?
The egg. What egg?
The egg? Hopefully he's got night vision or something in that helmet. We know he doesn't have a scanner because he uses his blaster scope for a binoc. But maybe like night vision or something. A freaking flashlight? Where even was that? Where did that come from? He didn't have that on his helmet a second ago. Alright, what's he gonna have to fight? You know, if this was Tatooine, it'd be really cool to see a Krayt Dragon. But I don't think that's what we're gonna see. A dewback? I keep thinking we're on Tatooine. That could be a dewback. What was that? Ooh. Rip chest piece. That is not a dewback. Is that a Reek? It looks like the Reek from episode 2. Oh, bro. Alright, it's not a Reek. It's Harry. But it's basically a Reek. Ooh. Dude. What was that gonna do? Oh, he just lost his arm piece. Dude, this is gonna be a short show. Dude, your armor is done. A knife. Is he calming him? Oh, he's lifting him. Size matters not. You better do something about it now. Stab him! What are you waiting for? That was it. That's all it took. I mean, I find that kind of hard to believe, but it's hard to say that I find the fact that he killed that beast with one stab of a knife hard to believe after just witnessing a CGI Baby Yoda lift him off the ground with his hand. So I guess I can't really complain. Passed out. He has to meditate to recover his force.
Have it. I've got the egg.
Dude, what about his armor though? Do they have armor? Can he also get armor for the egg? Don't give it to him. Give me my ship parts first. Oh my god, watch him just like drop it and shatter it. It's gonna break. There's no way it's not gonna break. What did I just watch? No, like, how could you be sure? Also, like, they got the vac tube on the side there. How can you be sure that's every part they took? What if they missed something? I'm still torn on how I feel about them having the Force in this series. I was kind of expecting this to be like a very down-to-earth series with no Jedi.
There's much work to do.
Gonna get a montage! But I still want to know what about his armor. The thing is
I can't thank you enough.
dirty now.
Allow me to give you a portion of the reward.
I cannot accept.
I could use a crew member of your ability.
I am honored, but I have worked a lifetime to finally be free of servitude.
I understand.
And good luck with the child. May it survive and bring you a handsome reward. I have spoken.
Yes! So, that's interesting. It would have been nice if he became a crew member. I really hope we get some sort of cliffhanger ending to get us hype. Like, I want to see another ship or something. Should cut to like a bad guy. Cut to something. Show us someone coming after him. Oh, he's awake. I really like that music, though. That it? That's gonna be it. Alright, well, there we go. That was episode 2. Alright, so this episode I feel is a little bit slower than the first episode. The first episode had... I don't know if it had more action? I guess maybe the number of action sequences was the same. I don't know, I guess that ending sequence with him and IG-11 just tearing up that encampment at the end of the first episode was just such an epic way to end that episode that this one just felt a little bit slower, which isn't a bad thing. Seasons need episodes that are slower to kind of like, change the pacing a little bit. I also think that this was an important episode to develop a bit of the Mandalorian's relationship with Baby Yoda, because we have that one line at the end there that the Ugnaught tosses in, which is, may that, I don't remember the quote, something like, may the child survive so that it may bring you a hefty bounty or something like that, a hefty reward. And you see the Mandalorian kind of perks up when he says that, which I think is just that slight little, like, him standing up straight a little bit, thinking about it, I think is kind of telling about where he is, where he stands on what he's going to do with this Baby Yoda. And I think that this has to be intentional. The egg with the Jawas. You know what? I'll wait until we get to that point. Let's try to go through this scene by scene review. So it starts off with him walking through the valley, the canyon, between those cracked rocks, and the Trandoshans attack. Now, plot hole maybe that the Ugnaught in the first episode said that you needed a blurg to get to the encampment, and yet he somehow makes it all the way back on foot. Whatever. The blurg must have ran away. I don't know how IG-11 got there. Maybe IG-11 rode a blurg too, or maybe he just walked because he's a droid. Either way, the Mandalorian's walking back, gets jumped by some Trandoshans. This is a scene that we saw in the trailer. Pretty cool. I liked the fight, very close quarters, very Star Wars-y. We get to see the disintegration rifle, which we know Darth Vader warns Boba Fett in Empire Strikes Back, no disintegrations. So now we finally get an answer to what he was talking about there. Very limited ammo, though, we saw with the Jawa scene. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead a little bit. Cool fight. He got to beat up some Trandoshans, shocked one with the stun baton portion of his gun, sent the dude flying into the wall. We do get to see from one of the dudes that he disintegrates, though, that he dropped one of those bounty hunter guild tracking things that he had from the first episode. So these guys were after the same bounty as him and IG-11. Now, they were probably going to try and kill it just like IG-11 was, because I think, as I mentioned in the last episode, it's evident that that the Mandalorian is not working for the same person who hired IG-11, or I think these Trandoshans, because IG-11 wanted Baby Yoda specifically or exclusively dead, whereas the Imperials that hired the Mandalorian primarily want him alive or proof of termination. What they want to do with him, we'll find out eventually, I guess. But yeah, so he kicks the Trandoshan's butts, finally makes it back to his ship, which is being scrapped. Actually, before we even get back to the ship, we have the scene of him trying to heal the cut that he got in the fight. Baby Yoda trying to reach out and heal him through the Force. He's not really sure what's going on. I guess he's not familiar with the Force, because he keeps putting Baby Yoda back in the thing, which makes sense. I mean, this is 5 years after Return of the Jedi. I doubt that some Mandalorian dude who was a kid in the Clone Wars knows about Jedi Master Yoda. We don't really know how many people know who Yoda is outside of, like, the Jedi Order. I'm sure that some senators back then during, like, the Old Republic, or not the Old Republic, but the Republic, might know who he was, but I don't think the common populace does. So it makes sense that we know who Yoda is. We know that that's Baby Yoda. He doesn't know who it is. To him, it's just some random alien species that he's never heard of. So he doesn't know that he's got special powers, and that makes sense. So I think it's cute, Baby Yoda clearly trying to help him, and he's just like, dude, like, go to sleep. Get back in your crate. And closes the lid on him. Then he finally gets back to his ship, and it's being scrapped by Jawas, which we still don't know where he is. I mentioned this during the episode. We don't know what planet he's on. It's starting to bother me a little bit. I know it's got nothing to do with the story. Like, it doesn't matter at the end of the day what planet he's on. I just want to know. I'm a Star Wars nerd, Star Wars geek. I like to know these things. I want to know where he is. I know in the last episode I said I don't think it would bother me. It's starting to bother me. We'll probably never get names of these planets, but it would be nice. The Sandcrawler sequence was cool. It was a little silly. Him trying to, like, climb up, and they're, like, throwing things down at him that can't weigh more than, like, a couple pounds, and he's oohing and eyeing every time he gets hit, despite the fact that he's wearing armor. It was still fun to watch, though. Watching him disintegrate the Jawas was hilarious. The one Jawa that's blind firing, dude, that was the best scene in this episode, though. That was so funny. And then he gets to the top and, like, pulls his blaster, like, aha! And they all pull their guns, like, wah! I mean, it is... Alright, I liked it. It was funny. And then he gets stunned, falls off the top... falls off the Sandcrawler, or the crawling fortress, and then makes his way all the way back to the Ugnaught. They stole his guns. They stole so much from his ship. I really have no idea how he knows that heap of junk they gave him in repayment for the egg is all of the part. Like, what if he's missing a screw? What if he brings all that stuff back to his ship, they start putting it back together, and then he's missing, like, one screw that holds, like, the door closed or something. Like, hopefully the Ugnaught has spares or something. I would be really weary that they gave me back everything that they took. Baby Yoda eating a frog. I don't know why, but okay. The Jawa trading scene is interesting. I thought maybe he was going to give up a piece of his armor or something, but instead they want the egg. What the egg is, we don't know. We find out that it's the egg of some giant beast. Sorry, I'm scrolling through this, just trying to remember everything, and it's the Jawa says that he speaks. His Jawa is terrible, that he sounds like a Wookiee. That was pretty funny to actually hear a Jawa say Wookiee. That's pretty great. Alright, so they take him to a pit with a giant Reek-like beast. The Reek is one of those three beasts from Star Wars Episode 2 that Anakin and Obi-Wan and Padme had to fight in the Geonosian arena. Looks very similar to that, but it's hairy, not scaly, like the Reek was. So I don't know exactly what the name of the creature is, but that's kind of what it's like. It's like a giant hairy rhino. Interesting fight. He gets his butt kicked, and his armor totaled, I would say. Like, his chest plate was basically falling off. Loses one of his arm pieces as well. I don't know if it was the flamethrower or something, but something comes off. And, yeah, no wonder he's going to get new armor later, hopefully in this next episode, because he is looking worse and worse by the hour. He's just not doing very well. He gets almost knocked out, and it looks like we are going to get another flashback of him as a kid. But instead, Baby Yoda levitates the beast with the Force while he's holding that little knife out. I mean, he was ready to die with that knife. He was just like, all right, I guess this is how I go out, and holding this knife up, clearly knowing that he's not going to be able to kill this beast with the knife. And then, like, instead of taking his opportunity to just shank the thing while Baby Yoda's holding it in the air, he just, like, stands there and stares at it, and then he must have gotten, like, a crit, like a natural 20, critical attack, and just one stab, beast collapses. Again, I guess I have to just suspension of disbelief. That's all right, I'm tired. Of how quickly the thing died. I mean, this is Star Wars. There's plenty of things that we kind of let slide, that, physics and whatever, magic, wizards lifting things with their hands. So, alright, one stab with the tiny knife kills the massive beast, I guess. Anyway, it gets the egg. The egg is absolutely disgusting, by the way. I don't know why. Just like a hairy egg gives me an uneasy feeling. So he takes the egg back to the Jawas, and this has to be intentional. This has to be symbolic. That Baby Yoda is floating around in a floating egg-shaped thing. And his bounty is this Baby Yoda in this egg. But his, I guess, side bounty or side quest or whatever you want to call him that the Jawas sent him on was to retrieve an egg, which he delivers, and it is immediately destroyed and devoured by these Jawas. That is like poetry, man. How symbolic that is to what he can expect when he delivers Baby Yoda to the Empire. And it's for that reason, and the reason of the line that the Ugnaught delivers about, I hope the baby survives and gives you a hefty reward, it is for those two reasons that I do not believe that he's going to deliver Baby Yoda to the Empire. Now, this is a little bit of meta thinking or meta theorizing that, we know that the Imperial says that he's got a huge crate of Beskar that he was going to provide as a reward, and we know that the Mandalorian gets new armor. So maybe he does. He gets the payment. He uses the Beskar to make new armor, and then he feels guilty and goes and rescues the Baby Yoda. Maybe something like that happens. Maybe he steals the Beskar. I don't know. All I know is he gets the new armor. There's a scene with some stormtroopers invading the Forge in one of the trailers, so we know the Mandalorians and the Empire will eventually come to odds with each other. And we know that he's got a soft spot for Baby Yoda. He said spit that out to him when he was eating the frog, so obviously he cares about him at least a little bit. And we do see him, offer money to the Ugnaught for helping him, and offer to have him join the crew, which would have been awesome. So despite, he's a Mandalorian, so he's a fierce fighter, but he's not cold or heartless. He's got morals, So I think it's really cool. I really enjoy the character. While this was a slower episode, I think it was an important episode to show us a little bit, give us a little bit of insight into him. Not only him, but also, like I said earlier, his relationship with Baby Yoda. And I'm really excited for the next episode where hopefully he goes back to the planet that we saw him at in the first episode with Baby Yoda, because I really want to see what he decides to do. I took a note here at the beginning of the episode to talk about IG-11 real quick, because while IG-11 was not in this episode, he was in the first one, and he was shot in the head and killed, maybe. But I was thinking about it, and I have a theory. It could be totally wrong, but I want to share it with you guys here, and I want to hear your comments or your thoughts in the comments. To those of you that know IG-88, and his story. IG-88 was in Empire Strikes Back on the bridge of the Star Destroyer with the other bounty hunters when they were looking for the Millennium Falcon. I know most of this is no longer actually canon because Disney, turned the whole canon into Legends and everything. And I don't know it by memory very much. I'd have to go to Wikipedia and look this up. But what I do know is that IG-88 had like 4 different variants or 4 models of him. It was like IG-88A, B, C, and D or something like that. And I don't know if they were all active at the same time or if when one died, the next one was activated to take his place or something like that. But I believe that something like that happened, and I'm sure somebody's going to correct me in the comments. Please do, because I'm curious without looking it up myself. And long story short, what I believe is that this IG-11 was like the IG-11A, and the Mandalorian killed him in Episode 1, which activates IG-11B. And IG-11B is going to come back in a later episode seeking revenge on the Mandalorian for killing his earlier self. And so he's going to come back as a villain. And the only reason I think that is because, A, we know Disney has been drawing on some of the old expanded universe in media for inspiration for some of the other stuff that they've made. We also know that this is kind of their way of doing a Boba Fett, IG-88, Tatooine, but not really Tatooine-like story without affecting or using those characters. So if IG-11 was inspired by IG-88, it would make sense that they might want to copy that feature of him over as well. Plus, it's just such a cool character. Like, he was such a hit in the trailer. And he's been, shown in so much of the artwork and promotional stuff for the show that I would be really, really surprised if he was like a one and done kind of character. So I could totally see them bringing him back, especially as a villain. I think it would be awesome to see the Mandalorian have to fight the person that he teamed up with in the first episode. If I was a writer, that's what I would do. I could be totally wrong, though. Obviously, it's just a theory. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about that. I think it would be sweet. So we'll have to just wait and see. He could be like the big baddie at the end of Season 1. And I would be okay with that. So that's going to be it for The Mandalorian, Chapter 2. Chapter 3 comes out on Friday. So I will react to it Friday and hopefully have that video up for you guys by then. Until then, I'm going to start up Jedi Fallen Order, try and record a little bit of that, and look forward to some footage of that maybe Friday as well. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Mobius1 here. For the full reaction again, check out my Patreon, link in the description. $1 a month gets you early access to all of my weekly series, as well as access to the full Mandalorian reviews or reactions. Alright, so thank you again, Mobius1 here, and I will see you guys in the next one.